The problem is that Hindus are in minority. Oxford University and Cambridge, especially these British universities, have tried to maintain a narrative that there was no genocide in Kashmir of Hindus. Their narrative has been that the Muslims are oppressed and it has always been a Muslim land which Hindus want to capture illegally and undemocratically, to which Pandit Nehru surrendered or kind of compromised on that, because all these people who are educated in Oxford, you will find anybody who's come from this education, still in their heart they believe. Even when Shashi Tharoor went there, he was very apologetic about Kashmir. So this is the narrative Oxford propagates, and this is what they believe in. Oxford is dominated by Middle Eastern lobbies, Middle Eastern funding, and Pakistani students. Hindu students are in minority. So Hindu students who go there either surrender or succumb to this pressure and also become communist, leftist, kind of a nexus, Islamist nexus, and they also speak anti-Hindu narrative. So I was invited by Oxford Union. It's not that I applied or I said invite me. They invited me after the Kashmir files. But then slowly all these Pakistani and Islamist voices started protesting. And they started protesting. Their major contention was that I am Islamophobic because I exposed Kashmir genocide in my film, The Kashmir Files. The second thing was they said I support fascist Prime Minister because I supported Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He is a democratically elected, one of the biggest victories he got. I supported him, so they said I am also fascist. So that the fascist and Islamophobe should not be called. So they started mounting pressure. And they wrote about it in social media. That's how I know it. And the president-elect is a Pakistani boy. And instead of cancelling directly, their tactic has always been all over the world. If you see, they always say, oh, sorry, we made a technical mistake. There has been a double booking. That's exactly what they have done with Rajiv Malhotra and Subramaniam Swamy and a lot of Hindu voices. So they sent an email on Sunday saying that, sorry, we made a mistake. There was a double booking, which is total lie, because on their calendar there is no double booking. In fact, on my time slot today, some British athlete is speaking. Then no, actually we have some technical problem. Our AV guy or AV team is not there. We said we will provide AV team, or you do it without the AV team. How does it matter? Mm-hmm. And so this is how it actually happened. So the real reasons are that they are Hindu-phobic people. They don't want Hindu voice. They did not cancel me. In effect, they have cancelled Kashmir genocide, because a whole lot of victims, children, students, they were going to come.
So what you're
and
saying,
they realized,
correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Agnihotri, what you're saying is that the university per se, or some individuals in the union per se, are putting now pressure to get you cancelled because that lobby wants to promote the status quo sort of narrative on Kashmir, that, well, you know, Kashmir is a disputed territory, that the Indian government is occupying this land, and that human rights are being suppressed. And you, of course, would have sort of corrected that impression and got a platform to do so, and also talked a little bit about this entire narrative that's sought to be constructed, that the Indian state is Islamophobic and therefore targeting the valley population of Muslims exceptionally, by actually going back in time and exposing the guilt behind, or the guilty behind, the greatest Hindu genocide that has happened after partition in India. Is that really what you're saying?
Exactly. In fact, there is one more element to it. Yasin Malik pleaded guilty, and that exposed them after the Kashmir files exposed them by bringing the truth out. When Yasin Malik pleaded guilty, then it exposed and bursted their entire narrative, because these people have been celebrating JKLF and Yasin Malik.
Right.
These people came out in support of Yasin Malik. They have hosted him. These people are, you know, they are kind of intellectual partners of JKLF. So this entire narrative was bursting, and they realized, when I come, I will further expose Yasin Malik, what he did with Air Force officers and what he did with Hindu families and children. So that's why they got scared and they started running a social media campaign, and then they started protesting at the union, and they said you cannot call somebody who supports a fascist prime minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. That is the biggest problem, you know. So I am the collateral damage in this. But the thing is that Hindus are in minority and they are oppressing minority voices. On their social media handle, they write, we are the last bastion of free speech. But no Hindu student is allowed to speak for Hindu genocide. So in effect, they have cancelled. They realized that so many Kashmiri Hindu young second generation boys and girls were going to attend, whose parents live here, the Kashmiri Pandit community. And they realized that this is going to be very embarrassing for them calling me, because you know that I very openly, very blatantly, very honestly speak for the cause of Kashmiri Hindus and their genocide. I speak against Yasin Malik, and I exposed Yasin Malik to whatever might I had. And these are the two things
well,
which
you're getting